8. Congratulations to them. Man, there's so many layers to this. Because I want to the Tyrese Haliburton injury obviously kind of casts a pall over the entire game when he went down 7 minutes in. But we have to separate that because I think the bottom line to all of this is I think we were robbed of a really really incredible game. We still got a pretty good game 7, but a really I think knockdown, drag out down to the final seconds type of game 7. But I still feel like the right team won.
I agree.
Oklahoma City was the best team in the league all year. So while we were, I think the Pacers did not get to give their best shot at it without Tyrese Haliburton. And while I think we got a worse game because of it, I don't walk away feeling like, oh, the wrong team is hoisting the trophy this year.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think when we look at the road and home splits in this series, there were certain players that just could not function on the road.
That's it.
And they were really, really good at home, but some players, again, like Chet Holmgren really struggled on the road.
Mm-hmm.
At home, he was a monster. And if you had all 3 of your big guys going, there was no way that team was going to lose. At least I didn't think that they were going to lose. And to be honest with you, like, look, they proved that they were the best team in the league. They won 18 more regular season games than the Indiana Pacers. And
that's
the Pacers put up a fight, and it was a valiant fight. But when that injury hit, it just shook the entire game.
Yep.
Right. And it wasn't just that, you lost your best player, your playmaker. He was also firing away. You lost we all talk about this skill that Tyrese Haliburton has to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like his ability to walk in front of the media and just be honest and forthright and intelligent and articulate.
Mm-hmm.
He's the same behind the scenes. When you see that guy, the guy that you count on for so many things, not just to be, the head of the snake on the court, but to be one of your leaders and really the vocal leader of a team, a guy who goes out and represents you in every single situation. When you see him go down like that, and everybody in the building knows what happened, it was just so devastating.
Yeah.
Man, so devastating.
As soon as the way that went down, and I want to make sure we do talk about Oklahoma City because they were unbelievable this year.
Yeah,
they because they're going to be shell shocked too. Like there's something, and they were pointing this out on the broadcast. There's something that they have to overcome mentally too, of not going, oh, Haliburton's out, we're going to win.
Yeah,
and not just kicking their feet up and getting punched in the mouth, and all of a sudden they're down 10, right? But you knew it was bad. So Tyrese Haliburton falls down and turns it over. And in the middle of calling the break, because the camera, obviously Haliburton's on the other side of the court, the camera's not on him. And in the middle of his call, Mike Breen said, and Haliburton's hurt. And when that is, like Mike Breen's one of the best play-by-play guys to ever do it.
Yeah.
He recognized what was happening and knew the fact that he knew to let us know that Haliburton in mid-play, that Haliburton is hurt on that play.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have done that if he was just kind of still laying on the ground. He was doing that because he saw the reaction from Tyrese Haliburton. And I mean, it's just devastating. It hit this weird emotional note for me where you see this guy who is in a game 7 who said, if I can walk, I want to play.
Yeah.
And he goes down and didn't just go down. And you see sometimes a guy gets hurt and he turns over and they'll just point and they'll be like, all right. But like the release of emotion from him. And like you said, that's him. He's going to get out. He's going to put it all out there for everybody. And the fact that it was really, really hard to not feel that emotion coming out of the TV screen when you saw him on the ground, recognizing that his season is over, his team season is over, his next season might be over. He's not going to get a chance to contribute for the final 41 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
Just a brutal, brutal situation, man.
Well, that and, being in the building when a couple of these have happened, these Achilles tears, his reaction was absolutely identical to Rudy Gay's.
Yeah.
Like I was up on the NBC booth. It's where I used to sit and watch the game. And Rudy Gay came down, went to take a step, and collapses in the middle of the floor and is right below me. And he's looking up towards me, and he's just hitting the floor with his fist. It was so reminiscent. And the play just keeps going, and somebody's career is like in the balance. Yeah. And it's such a horrible thing to see happen. And like everyone knew. It's not like there was a question.
Oh,
it's not like, he might have like hurt his calf a little worse. Nope, we all knew right away. And then
immediately.
And then ESPN made sure that we knew.
Jesus.
Like that was like, I don't even understand what was happening with their production crew. We did not need to see Tyrese Haliburton's Achilles rupture on camera at least 45 times.
It was excessive.
Yeah.
Like you show it once and you go, oh man, okay. Like, yeah, we got it. Yeah. We saw it. And I understand they're trying to make sure that, not everybody's locked in for the first 7 minutes. There might be people who show up in the middle of the second quarter or in the second half, whatever it is. And they've got to, update people. Here's what happened to Tyrese Haliburton. But you don't have to show it. You don't have to show it every single time in super slow motion. And then we're going to get the zoom in on his crying face while he pounds it. No, we understand.
Yeah.
You can just let us know Tyrese Haliburton is out officially with a lower leg injury, and his dad told Lisa Salters it's an Achilles. We got it.
Yeah, we got it.
The slow motion replay was I don't understand. This is separate from the game, obviously, but they won't show a nasty knee injury or a nasty ankle injury. They won't show. I don't need to see an Achilles snap over and 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 over again, especially in the middle of an awesome basketball game.
Yeah. Man, there was a point where there was someone shooting free throws, and they just ran the clip.
Yep.
Right in the middle of like,
and
then they cut it short. We're like, what exactly are you doing?
It was frustrating. Like they lost their ever-loving minds.
Yeah.
And while we're doing the ESPN thing, I cannot believe this is not a Kyle Madsen original thought that ESPN's NBA coverage is sorely lacking. That they went to halftime. First of all, Stephen A. Smith got cut off by commercials in the middle of a rant. So they go to commercial after the half ends. They come back and Stephen A. Smith starts screaming about how, and I like Stephen A. Smith, by the way, typically I'm sick of him. Starts screaming about how someone needs to step up. That's not analysis. That's first take. Jalen Williams needs to step up in this game right now or he's not Scottie Pippen. Like, okay, man, whatever. You had Bob Myers on your panel, okay?
Yep.
Look, I don't think Bob Myers is great on TV, but Bob Myers was the general manager of the Golden State Warriors or president of basketball operations for the Golden State Warriors when Kevin Durant had a calf strain, tried to come back during the finals, and blew his Achilles a few minutes into the game.
Yep.
Bob Myers got on television in front of the nation and cried about this. He cried real tears in a press conference about Kevin Durant doing the exact same thing that Tyrese Haliburton did. Don't you think it'd be really valuable to go, hey, Bob, you're on this panel. What do you do here? If you're the Pacers, what are the emotions in the locker room? What are the emotions for the players? What are you doing with Tyrese Haliburton? There are so many things you can find out from Bob Myers, who has firsthand experience with this. And instead, we've got Stephen A. Smith literally reading the box score and then saying that the players who don't have big numbers in the box score need to have bigger numbers in the box score. Like, thanks. Glad we got this.
Yeah, I don't
just horrible. It was brutal.
I don't understand why that's part of the NBA coverage for the finals. Why do we need someone yelling? They're yelling over the top of each other the entire break? It is so nerve-wracking, and you're just sitting there like this stress level, the tension that's coming through your TV. you're just like, what in the world are we doing here? Like, this is not, it's not entertaining at all. And it's just bad. It's just bad television.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like really, really difficult. The entirety of it, like whether it was like clip after clip after clip of Ty on the ground, or it was like going in and talking to some guys that just really have no respect for each other and are just like trying to show up the other people on the panel and like no way to control what's happening. Like, I really, really hope there's changes. And I think it's a good thing that the TNT crew is going to be, you know, doing ESPN games, right? That's who's going to be
some of them.
the like out front and center. That's a good thing to me, because for what we saw yesterday was just like completely unacceptable. And I didn't even have the sound on. Like, we weren't even listening with the sound on. We were at a sports bar watching the game and just happening. But then we went home, watched halftime. It's like, oh my gosh, just
it's like a
turn
separate
it off.
It's like a separate thing from the game. You're taking away from the game at that point.
Oh, fully taken away.
The Pacers had a lead at halftime after Tyrese Haliburton got hurt. A minor miracle, right? And Shams Charania has confirmed it's a torn Achilles for Tyrese Haliburton, just kind of confirming what we already know. So that's now official.
Yeah, it's official.
So it's taking away from the game, and that's the problem for me. The fact that the Pacers rallied the way they did after Tyrese Haliburton went down, and didn't even do the thing where they went down like 10 because they were just so shell-shocked. They got right back in. They took a lead into halftime. The story there, to me, is, holy crap, how did the Pacers do that? Not, somebody from Oklahoma City has to step up.
Yeah.
Like, all right. It just doesn't, it doesn't do it for me, man. And then they cut off Stephen A. Smith to go to more commercials. I think that had to be an accident. And then they still found a way to get him his rant in that he had queued up about players stepping up. I don't know, man. The point in the game where it couldn't quite feel over, because it's still the Pacers, and they've just defied odds all season. But where the game really flipped was Miles Turner, with 8.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, hits a three. It ties the game at 56. And Miles Turner had not hit the broadside of a barn all playoffs.
He was not good.
All series.
Yeah.
So he cashes this three finally. Ties the game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander comes back down, answers with a three. TJ McConnell turnover. Chet Holmgren three. TJ McConnell turnover. Jalen Williams three. All of a sudden it goes from tie game to 9-point game in 1 minute and 7 seconds.
Yeah, that moment there where McConnell just couldn't, he just ran himself into trouble.
Yep.
Like multiple times. It was like, oh man, composure, dude.
Yep.
He just lost his composure, and it was boom, boom, boom. And that is the true gift of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
That's it.
They have a way of hitting you so hard, so quickly, and just like lights out. Like they can knock anybody out like that quick. And watching them like find their footing in a really tense moment, right? You're still, everyone is trying to recover from the Haliburton injury, but to sit there and like just hit a team and then put them away, that is what we saw all season long from that team. They had their home crowd behind them. I think if it was in Indiana, it probably would have been a little different, because that's what we saw throughout this series, that the home team really had an advantage. But like it was tough to watch. But that, again, that is why the Thunder are the best team in basketball. That they are the best team in basketball. There's no question about it. I hate that their championship, their game 7, is taken away by such a bad injury. It's sort of what happens in these situations. But my goodness, like what an incredible team, what an incredible franchise. And you know, they're building something. This is going to be a team that we're going to see again and again and again over the next 5 to 7 years.
Yep, it sure feels that way. So we've got to talk about the Tyrese Haliburton injury in the context of the other 2 Achilles tears in the NBA playoffs.
Yeah,
and whether the NBA is going to finally take their schedule as a player safety issue.